Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thank you for being here today, and thank you for helping us not only today but in prior experiences with you as we plow through our assignments. This commission is trying to explore ways to ensure and improve the coordination within the intelligence community, and we're also trying to look for ways to ensure and improve the coordination in emergency response as well. And some of the testimony and the questioning that's gone on in the past, and I'm assuming that you all were listening to it this morning because I want to come back to a couple things, but the questions that are being asked by this panel and certainly are not to in any way obscure the phenomenal reaction of your respective entities on 9/11. It's just that we're trying to find facts so that we can do what everyone is now calling lessons learned. Lessons learned are important because that's what we have to deal with to improve. And among the lessons that we've learned painfully in our reviews over the last months is that turf battles don't assist in obtaining intelligence, turf battles don't assist in analyzing intelligence, and turf battles don't assist in saving lives. And candidly, we're concerned. We've heard so much testimony about the rivalries and the turf battles among your respective organizations. Not to diminish from the valor and the bravery and the good work of each of them, but we're concerned because, as Commissioner Kelly just said, I mean, we're in the cross. New York is in the crosshairs. There's no question about that. And anything that diminishes from this effort to be prepared and to protect the infrastructure and the citizens of this city and the country can't be tolerated if it can be avoided. So I would really like to talk about this, and I'd like your comments on this. This is either an urban myth that we're dealing with, or candidly, it's a problem, and I would appreciate hearing your suggestions and your ideas and any positive steps that you've taken to try to mitigate what may be historic rivalries, may be historic tensions and between other emergency response operations so that we can realistically work out jurisdictional issues. So, gentlemen, whoever would like to start.
Well, I would say that the competition, the whole issue of rivalry is overblown. There is mostly friendly competition. Just last Sunday, we had a football game, for instance, between the police and the fire department. And
who won?
Don't tell the score.
That's why I brought it up, by the way.
Executive privilege.
He wants to give
You can guess who won.
too.
But I think there have been some incidents. They've been few and far between. They've been overblown. But I think the system that we're adopting now will go a long way to address some of the public's concerns and some of the real issues concerning turf. I don't want to say they don't exist, but I think they are overblown. But this is a management system. It envisions incident commanders for the agencies that respond to a big event, and it envisions a unified command system structure where the executives of these agencies get together and make collective, collaborative decisions. So it is an issue that's out there. Again, I think it's overblown. It makes good copy. There have been some frictions. I think this system that we're adopting will help to reduce the friction that does exist.
Maybe I could add something to that.
Please.
And I have experience having been fire commissioner as well, and with the fire department for over 6 years. There's no question that there are some issues that exist between individual firefighters and police officers on occasion. However, they respond more than 1,000 times a day in this city together. They cooperate and they act appropriately, and they protect the people of the city in an aggressive way. So there may be a number of incidents that occur, but when you look at the overall system, it works extremely well. And taking account of that, that is the purpose we this is why we designed SIMS the way it is. We wanted to take account of a system that generally works, that basically works virtually all the time. And we wanted to take that and add a management structure on top of it. And two of the finest agencies, no doubt, in the country, I believe in the world, and allow those agencies to be as aggressive as they have to be, to deal with the incidents they have to deal with, and put a management structure which, by the way, complies in every respect with the federal government's NIMS program. And what we do is, one of the first things we do, we put them together in an operations section where they have to talk to each other and will be with each other. And then we train them. We're going to train them. We're going to issue SOPs, standard operating procedures. OEM will be involved heavily in that training. And over time, I don't think this one piece of paper can do anything. A piece of paper is just that. It requires management, responsibility, training. Over time, that will work. The parties will be together. They'll work together. They'll know it works better, and it will be better. And by the way, it works already. Additionally, we have taken a look at what agencies do best. We don't want to subjugate or minimize the role of any agency here. These are terrific people, and the city requires them to do the job they do every day. And so we take them and we look at any incident. And those incidents that, by the way, in the document you've received, the matrix, most of the incidents are individual incident types, and their lead agency is assigned. In multiple agency incidents, we look at core competencies. What do the agencies do? In an airplane disaster, for example, there is fire, there's patient care, perhaps there is search and rescue, there is crime scene investigation, there may very well be evidence preservation, there may be evacuation, even water rescue. And we looked who has the competency in these areas. And so in those core competencies, the agency with the experience and with the competency leads the other agencies. So in an incident like the World Trade Center or in an airplane disaster, where the fire is, if PD or police department is assisting the fire department's in control. They operate and they direct the operations of all agencies. When you get to the crime scene aspects, if there's terrorism issues, the police department controls and the fire department would assist. And that's how it goes down. Now, I understand that there's some concern about that issue, that it may not be clear. But I listened to Commissioner Carrick and Commissioner Van Essen, who I know very well. And frankly, in any incident, that's just how things work. And putting these folks together in an operations section forces them and makes them get into a management system and buy into it, manage into it, where they are together all the time, and they make these decisions together. I'm sure others will have other questions for me along those lines. But that's the outline of what we did with the SIMS program. And I think it's logical, because it works upon and builds upon what we already know are the strengths of these agencies. And it manages them in a better way. And training, et cetera, will do a lot more toward it.
Commissioner Scoppetta, do you think it's
Yes.
going to work?
Well, I would say that the document that has just been published is a very important framework for informed decision-making. But its effectiveness is going to depend on our training together, good judgment, good management, actually working it out as best we can under artificial circumstances, and also under real events. And I should say, Commissioner Bruno touched on several incidents where it required a lot of involvement on the part of police and fire together, and I think two of them at least, we thought were terrorist activities when it began. There was an explosion on West 19th Street in the basement of a building, and the Staten Island barge explosion at Port Mobile suggested terrorist activity. The agencies worked extremely well together. Everybody did their job. There was no friction. I have to endorse what Commissioner Kelly said. A handful of incidents have been overblown and made it seem as though these agencies simply can't work together. Why don't you guys get your act together? Because we have over 1,000 incidents, as many as 1,500 incidents in any 24-hour period. The fire department does. Hundreds of those involve the police. You don't read a single word of friction or contention because it works well. those that don't, and you get somebody exercising poor judgment or being over-aggressive, we'll read about it, I know.
Well, obviously, the responsibility is sitting right at that table to make it work, but I'm curious at
This is the last question, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. I'm not from New York, but I'll work on it. The last panel, you may have heard the testimony. They described how Mayor Giuliani's incident commander delineation came about. They walked into a room, each made their pitch, and then the mayor decided. How was this recent delineation decided?
This was a long discussion, first chaired by John Odemat, Commissioner Bruno's predecessor, and then taken over by Commissioner Bruno. We had, certainly Commissioner Kelly and myself, met with OEM together. We also had a team of people who were advancing the position of each department. And upon Commissioner Bruno's arrival, it picked up, it made some headway and picked up some steam, and so we ended up with a document that was just published. It does conform with the National Incident Management System. It does, in certain instances, allow for a single incident commander. And it does, in many instances, require a group of primary agencies to decide together who will be the chief operative on certain aspects of the incident. That's where I think we'll need a lot of training and a lot of experience and some good, solid judgment and management.
Well, I'll leave my fellow commissioners to follow up on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all.